Hello everyone, my name is Rob, welcome to Kinetic Rugby League. In this video I'll be giving you my Super League Round 22 tips and predictions. Now if you want to check out how I got on last week, you can check the pinned comment down below. Spoiler alert, it was 6 out of 6. And also, last week with the Challenge Cup final and the Saints vs Huddersfield game from round 1, both correct. So the last 8 games have all been spot on. Score wise, no, but winner wise, bang on. So let's get started on this week. So kicking things off, we have the Huddersfield Giants versus Salford Red Devils. Starting with league position, Huddersfield in 10th, Salford in 7th. And in form, Huddersfield have won 4 in the last 5, Salford have won 0. For me, this is a pretty sure win towards the Giants. They've been on incredible form. Salford have been abysmal. The one thing that I will go back to in favour of Salford is that their spine is extremely strong. When they're firing, they're incredible. I love Briley. I think he's a really reliable, creative player. Brodie Croft, excellent creator. Mark Sneed, one of the most reliable and underrated sevens that Super League's had. And Andy Akers, incredibly influential in getting that forward pack moving with some speed through the middle. So Salford, they do have the players to beat anybody, really. They've got the players to do it, but in terms of form, it's just not been working out for them. And Huddersfield, I thought they'd do a little bit better against Saints last week, but they'll be okay. They'll be fine in this one. I don't think they'll blow Salford out the water, but for me, I think Huddersfield should be winning this one. And they're like right in range of a playoff spot. Like, they've broken away from Castleford and Wakefield at the bottom. They've broken away. They're firmly with the teams now. I think they're level with Leeds, possibly. Is it Leeds in 9th? Yes, it's Leeds in 9th. So they've closed that gap. They're right there, and they're fighting for a playoff spot, which they can absolutely get. So I think Huddersfield will continue to push on with these, last few weeks that they've got going. So I'm going to go with Huddersfield to win 26-16. Next up, we have the Wigan Warriors versus Hull FC. Starting with league position, Wigan's in 2nd, Hull FC in 8th. In terms of form, Wigan have won 4 in the last 5, Hull FC have won 3 in the last 5. Wigan they've been strong, definitely been strong. Hull FC have been okay, nothing exceptional, but there's something about this game. It's just a vibe, really. It's just a feel. I'm not about to say there's an upset for Hull FC to win this one, but I do think that there's definitely a competitive game to be had here, because Wigan, they've been winning, but it's hard to put into words. It's just a gut feeling that Hull FC are really going to take them to the end, right to the end of this game, and make it really competitive. It's just a feeling that I get, because the Wigan Warriors at times, even with the players that they've got, with Field and French, there've been a couple times in the last few weeks where they've not quite had that edge. Like, they've been shut down a couple times. They've still created opportunities. That's what they do. They're top class players, and they are still continuing to create opportunities, but just more so, less than normal recently, if that makes sense. And Hull FC aren't flourishing. They aren't putting in insane performances, but they're disciplined enough, strong enough performances to get a few wins in there. So I think there's a very close game to be had on this one. Of course, Wigan could just destroy them. They could, but it's just a gut feeling that Hull FC put in a strong effort here. But I do think Wigan are strong enough overall to get this win. So I'm going to go with Wigan 24, Hull FC 20. Next up, we have the almighty game of the week, Wakefield Trinity versus Castleford Tigers. Looking at league position, Wakefield in 12th, Castleford in 11th. In terms of form, Wakefield have won 3 in the last 5, Castleford have won 0 in the last 5. I think a high-scoring game is likely here. Defensively, both these teams are shocking. In attack, I trust Wakefield more than I do Castleford. Genuinely. And that's why I'm actually leaning towards Wakefield on this one, because the last few months, when Wakefield started picking up wins and Castleford just kept on losing, we were asking that question, are Castleford in trouble? And officially, yes, they're in trouble because they're on level points. So the winner moves up, or Castleford stay 11th, or Wakefield move up to 11th. For me, Wakefield have enough in their team. They're putting in strong enough performances. There's a few times they've been battered the last couple of weeks, but Wakefield have fought their backsides off for the last few months to just get a single win. They've been working their backsides off, and they are now in a position to jump above the Tigers. They are right where they wanted to be. Like, of course, they don't want to be at the bottom, but after realising that they're going to be at the bottom and they're fighting for relegation, they're right where they want to be in this current part of the season. It is in their hands right now. It wasn't a case of, let's try and chase and see what we can do. The fortunate enough Castleford have been as bad as they have been, but this is in the hands of Wakefield to just grab the bull by the horns and absolutely put in a statement win against Castleford and put the Tigers right at the bottom of Super League. This could be an absolutely insane game. I'm going to go with Wakefield 32, Castleford Tigers 24. Next up, we have St Helens at home against Hull Kingston Rovers, starting with league position. Saints in 3rd, Hull KR in 6th. In terms of form, Saints have won 4 in the last 5, Hull KR have won 2 in the last 5. This is going to be a tough one to kind of gauge because both of these teams played last week. Saints put in a strong effort against Huddersfield. Hull KR worked their backsides off again against Leigh last week in the Challenge Cup final. Hell of a game, hell of an effort from them. The problem is they did make a lot of mistakes. This is one thing that a lot of people aren't talking about with the final. It was a great final, but it was riddled with mistakes. So Hull KR, they need to get that out of their game. Now, the question mark for this one, I think Saints will be fine because, they've been fine in Super League, came up against a team that's in great form in Huddersfield, put them to bed quite well. Hull KR is just a question mark of how are they going to bounce back. Is it going to be a case of, we're so disappointed, we don't have the mental drive this week to really be as professional as we have been? Or is it going to be a case of, right, we've just lost the Challenge Cup final, a trophy has gone missing. For these final weeks, we give it 110% and everything is perfect. How are they going to respond? That's the real question mark for me. So I think Hull KR will still put in a fine performance. It'll be okay, but it won't be enough to challenge Saints, who are still putting in top performances at the moment. So I'm going to go with St Helens 28, Hull KR 18. Next up, we have the actual game of the week with Leigh Leopards versus Catalans Dragons. Starting with league position, Leigh in 4th, Catalans in 1st. In terms of form, Leigh have won 4 in the last 5, Catalans have also won 4 in the last 5. For me, this is a little bit similar to Hull KR. Of course, the narrative is different. Leigh did also make a lot of mistakes last week in the final, but came up clutch and got it done. The question this week is there so much focus on, and I don't think it's not as straightforward as I'm about to say it. I think you'll understand when I say it. Is there so much focus on celebration that they lose focus and sight of the next thing, which is the next game against Catalans and the league itself? I think there will be an element of that in there where there's a bit of fatigue after a bit of drinking, but nothing too over the top. On the other side of it, it could just be huge for them mentally and in terms of confidence, just pushing them forward. We've already won a trophy now. People can't doubt us. Anything like that, any narrative you want to throw at it. But I think Leigh will put in a hell of a performance, but I think given how much it would have taken out of them physically and emotionally last week, Catalans will be fully focused. They're one of the other teams that's had a week off, so they can fully focus on Leigh. Whatever team they want to put out, they can focus on getting those exact plays how they want them. So I'm going to go with Leigh 20, Catalans 24. Finally for this week, we have Leeds Rhinos versus Warrington Wolves. Starting with league position, Leeds in 9th, Warrington in 5th. In terms of form, Leeds have won 2 in the last 5, Warrington have won 0 in the last 5. So, I'm a Warrington fan, and it has been a rough couple of weeks. I do think Leeds are just in a better position here to win this one. Simple as that. They've been playing better. There isn't any confidence issues with the players, it seems. And normally towards the back end of the season, that's when Leeds really flourish. So I think Leeds will probably be fine. Now, there's a couple of reasons why Warrington might make it a challenge. So on paper, a lot of people would say that Leeds will probably batter Warrington. There's a few reasons why it might be a challenge. So, first of all, you still have Gary Chambers as the head coach. So that will bring a slightly different attack. I was thinking last week that, look, even though Daryl Powell isn't there, and we still lost to Catalans, the players aren't going to unlearn everything they've learned for the last 18 months in the space of a week. It's just not realistic. Now, in a few extra weeks and having a week off to really go over what they want to, then there's a chance it looks more like a Gary Chambers team. Plus, Martin Gleeson coming into the coaching staff, working on the attack. He worked with Wasps in Rugby Union and also worked with England Rugby. So there's a potentially different looking Warrington team that comes into this game. So Leeds are probably looking at, the past couple of weeks, and especially looking at the Catalans game, looking at how Warrington's going to attack, how they can exploit them defensively. I think Leeds will find easy tries, absolutely easy tries. But in terms of the attacking side for Warrington, there won't be much to go on how a Martin Gleeson attack looks. And they can't really use Rugby Union as a reference. Not really anyway. So I think there is the potential that Warrington put in a good handful of points and make it competitive because of those reasons, that Leeds don't have the footage to go off to really nail down what Warrington's going to do specifically, because there could be a few new things in there. The overall structure may be the same, but there might be a few different, attacking patterns in there. We will just have to see. So I think a competitive game is likely, but I think given Warrington's confidence and their overall form compared to Leeds, I think Leeds should be fine for a win here. So I'm going to go with Leeds 26, Warrington 20. So that is going to be it for this video. If you have any predictions for this round, let me know in the comments down below. Also, let me know how you got on last week with the Challenge Cup and the Single League game, or the Super League week before that. If you want to check out any hoodies, anything like this, you can check the link for the KL store in the description down below. Be helping out the channel as well. If there's anything on there you want to buy, just letting you know. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.